Welcome to Kampot, Cambodia. I'm standing in the busiest intersection in all of the town, the main roundabout. Behind me is the night market, which is unremarkable. Kampot it's like a secret hideaway. It has a certain Hemingway to it. If you're from America, you probably have no idea what that is. Go ahead and guess. We're gonna take a tour around the town, especially as the sun goes down and the lights come up into the evening, which will be in the historic district, the heritage area that way. This place, it's kind of off the radar for the English-speaking world. Of course, somebody's gonna disagree with me, but the only places that were highly recommended as look at as best cities were Phnom Penh, Siem Reap, but it was only on the advice of some locals and some French people that I learned about this place. And it's worth checking out. It is like so easy to come here and just get sucked into what it is. And then we'll go take a look at some of the outlying things like the town of Kep, the beach town that's about a half-hour motorbike ride away. See what other interesting things we can find in the area. We're standing up on a bar several levels above the ground here and looking out on several dozen food stands, if you can see these at all, with all of the local food vendors and this courtyard, which is the first part of a long parkway. This is the heritage area, the historic area. So dozens of food options here at pretty good prices. It's not as cheap as what you would expect sometimes with something like this, but some of that is because there is actually a strong international presence of people here. So they have a little bit of pricing power and they know it, but it's still pretty affordable, still pretty good. A lot of local options here. So right now, oh yeah, they're just getting started, but as it gets dark, it's gonna be very busy. All right, let's take a look around. What else we have? Okay, so you're gonna notice out in the town, there's a ton of the French architecture remaining. And these streets going out to the river, same thing, it's the French architecture, but lots of bars and restaurants. So we won't really walk these until it gets dark that you can see everything that's happening, but let's head on down to the riverfront as those lights are coming up and see what that looks like. Yeah? Kampot, man, let's do this. All of those food stands with the local food are in full swing now, but you only see so many people standing out on the street. As soon as they order, they head back into the courtyard and it's full of people. Just know that it's very popular up until, they're still serving food pretty strong till 10 o'clock at night, but there's even a couple of stands that stay open all night long in there. This is kind of a central figure bar here, and there's another bar in the upstairs. That's where I was standing earlier. This is the first of several streets that go down the line, all kinds of different themed bars, some more scandalous than others. Or if you're a more budget-minded person, there's people every night that just buy beers at the store and sit right there and drink and watch the human activity, watch the world go by. Fancy things and then very humble, down-to-earth things. But you can already see the difference between in the daylight hours, what I was showing you, and now it's very popular for dinner time and drinks. So a second street, tons of bars down there. So over there is Bob Marley Pizza, and right here is Happy Smile Pizza, for example. I've eaten at both places a couple of times. There are a handful of places in Kampot that call themselves pizza joints, and they do make pizza, but the best thing they all serve is they have the barbecue grill going, and you can get tofu steaks. My favorite is the fresh steaks of barracuda and marlin, and they give you a baked potato and like a coleslaw. So a plate with like a mixed plate of one small steak of barracuda and one marlin with the baked potato is $5 US. It's like I'm promoting something not exactly Cambodian, but it's so good. It's the best food in town. So I really like these guys. Stop by and see them. Mugs of beverage, 50 cents right there. That's hard to resist. Okay, what else? What else do we need to show you? Well, you know, there's 4 or 5 blocks coming off of the river that have same themes going on. And then when you get out to the riverfront, which we're rapidly approaching, you have more, there's all these restaurants lining the street, some of those pizza places also. And the highlight of what they serve, they've got Western food too, but the fresh cuts of fish are so worth it. This whole Riverfront Promenade stretches for so far, and it's all lit up all night long. People come out, chill out. There's people sometimes playing guitar out here, but all the tuk-tuk drivers are hanging out, couples. People even come out to have beverages, but there's just many, many establishments. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit further down the line so I can show you how it changes. So this bridge, which is closed to like heavy vehicle traffic, it's only open to motorbikes and tuk-tuks. That bridge comes to town. Yes, this is like an abandoned construction project, but not in the heart of, but it meets the town in the heritage area, the historic area, okay? And down that street, a couple of blocks, there's people selling fresh hot food until like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is fantastic because if you've been doing business like during American business hours and you're up and you're hungry, that's where you want to go, right there. And I hate to plug for an American business, but they're open very, very late also, where most small markets shut down, like 11 o'clock, they're closed. All right, so check it out. The bridge, the motorbike bridge, the river. And then when some of the establishments that close early, some people come out here for drinks right on the riverside. And it's a sandy beach from here all the way down. So the next bridge down that has green, blue, yellow, kind of in triangle, diamond shapes, just past that bridge, there's a whole bunch of docks where you can take a riverboat ride, even into the evening. I'm not gonna get a shot of it because it's so spread out, but know that you can do that. There are more restaurants down the line, but the greatest density of restaurants is in this area back here that we've been walking through. Kampot, downtown, historic and heritage area, lots of fun. If we head towards the clock tower upriver, there's a bit of a night market with the food stalls, mostly finger foods, fried foods, smoothies, but they have lots of snacks if you happen to be that far up the river. It's not my first choice, but I didn't really have that much of a choice. If you wanted to see the areas surrounding Kampot, you can rent a bicycle for 10,000 Riel, just like $2.50, or for $8 a day. But down in the river island, just south of town, you can see the salt harvest happening. It almost covers this whole island. So it looks like a really poor area, but it's just not something you get to see every day. Definitely not where I'm from. So this is it's not a tourist thing at all. There's nothing flashy about it, but it sure is a fascinating look into what goes on here. Once you step away from the tourist centers, let's go keep riding. And today the theme is going to be about salt and pepper, I think. Just slices of life in the countryside you don't get to see often. Big piles of salt harvest. So I'm in pretty rural countryside outside of Kampot. It's hard to imagine scenery being any more opposite from what we'd see where I come from. This is a pretty good spot if I'm going to do something dangerous like this at all. Very light traffic. There is, unfortunately, like in the streams and rivers, there's, litter, pollution. Just so different than where we come from, where I come from. So why not show you? Well, we've got some public works going on, some improvements. Since you're following along on all my adventures and misadventures, I'm trying to find a pepper farm that is proving to be quite elusive. But the scenery I'm getting as I'm lost, trying to stay on paved roads is amazing. So here, I got hungry. So I stopped by this side of the road food stand. We got some of these sweet waffles for 500 riel each. That's like 10 cents. So I got 2 of them. And then we've got these omelet. So she's making one right now, egg, and it has the same shrimp from the food market, the seafood market. It's over in Kep. So that cost me 1,000 riel, which is like 25 cents. Now, these fine folks, they're so scared they're just like not wanting to be on camera. But it was hard work, but I got them to agree to. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but apparently it doesn't look anything like banana, but there's bananas everywhere. And every time I have had something that's of a fried banana persuasion, it has been so good. So, very good. Well worth 1,000 riel. So, 1,000 riel for the banana, 1,000 riel for the omelet, and I bought 2 of the waffles for a total of 1,000. That is 75 US cents for some tasty treats and a fun little adventure. Well, we found it. One of the pepper farms. This one's called La Plantation. Half the fun is how sporty the ride is getting here. It's sporty. When I say sporty, like you're off-roading with that motorbike for some other ride. It's a pretty sprawling farm. But there are many farms around here. This La Plantation is just probably the most famous one that does tours. The tour lasts a little over an hour. You can take the tour in English, French, and Khmer. And you get to see some of the structures. You get to see the pepper trees themselves, and they explain the cultivation process, the treatment process after they have harvested. And then you get to try the pepper, dip your finger in and taste them. And there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening in my mouth. And then you can come up here and have pepper infused cocktails, pepper ice cream, pepper coffee. And then there's even a restaurant down here where you can have dishes with their famous pepper. You can buy pepper to take home. So normally they say during the dry season that the sunset is absolutely gorgeous from up here. We're pretty high off the ground, but the clouds kind of rolled in. It looks like it might even rain tonight. So we're gonna scoot on out of here before it gets too dark. We'll see. It's such a beautiful view. So give yourself half a day, maybe even a whole day to do this. About a half-hour motorbike ride away from Kampot is the beach hamlet of Kep. Not a lot going on here. Not a lot going on, but I think that might be the draw for people. It's just kind of a sleepy little beach bay. There are a lot of families. There are a lot of pieces of beachfront real estate with tents. Down here, a lot of food, market stuff going on. There are bars and restaurants on the tip of the peninsula. And then from this statue, as you go down further, there are like several kilometers worth of the wooden, they're like tents. They're not tents though. They have hammocks raised up off the ground and there's families hanging out there, but not a lot of city life that I can see. It's definitely a quiet family escape from things in Kep. I have no idea where I'm at, but I'm in Kep. And the first time I drove by earlier, there was just no room to park at all. There's all these people. So now it's late in the day, I'm coming back through, and I had to see what was going on. I think we're at the crab market. There is a crab market, but I don't know for sure if that's where I'm at. I mean, I must be, because this is the most action I've seen yet. So follow me. What do we have? Some dried goods. I'm not sure. Something cooked, wrapped in leaves. Oh, let's see what she's doing. Oh. Oh. We don't really know. Piles of dried shrimp everywhere. Look at this. Those are dried squid. All right, so we got squid. Lots of squid. Fish. Crab. Those are little crab. And they deep fry them. Yeah? See, so she fries them in the wok. Chicken leg, more fish. Oh, it is very, very warm right here with these barbecue pits. Oh my God, it's so hot. It's okay, it's okay. Oh, look at how fun this is. The size of my hand. Now look, that's a big squid. All right, let's keep walking. Got some shells. More crabs. Just to point this out, it's got the squid and the prawns, but giant blocks of ice. Keep it nice and fresh. Octopus. This is wild. That has to be the crab market. There's nothing else it could be. And then of course, more of the same out here. This is, for everybody, if I haven't done this yet, this is durian fruit. And the smell is very pungent. Very, how much? $6? $6 for a kilo. So how many kilos is one? How much? Oh. That's 3.5 kilos. I mean, yeah, it's like 3.5 kilos. It's probably the size of a basketball almost. And here's, so they cut it up. I mean, if you've never had durian, it's everywhere in Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, here, it's everywhere in Southeast Asia. And it's a boom crop all of a sudden because the Chinese have this insatiable appetite for it. So it was kind of this throwaway fruit for a long time. And now the durian farmers are getting rich exporting into China. So it's almost like white people don't really care for it that much. It's a lot of work to carve it open. No, just for the camera. I'm sorry. She's very angry that I'm not buying. I don't have any room in my bag. All right, let's keep looking around. More durian. Okay, that's gonna do it for what I think is the crab market in Kep, or a seafood market for sure. They're closing up shop. I don't want to be on the road too late. I still got like a half-hour, 45-minute drive. So we're right on the ocean, right on Kep Bay. But it's time to go. It's time to call it a day. The ice cream trucks, they're everywhere. All right, that's going to do it for our brief introduction to Kampot, Cambodia. I hope you enjoyed running around with me. For what it's worth, there are quite a few Westerners that stay here long term. And I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I could see myself letting time escape me here. It's very easy. If I come back, I promise I'll do a better job of exploring the attractions in the surrounding area and not hanging out in the core of downtown till late at night, every night. But the people watching is just world class. You can't help but just watch the world go by. So there's that. The other thing is, if you are going to be doing that, just take a tuk-tuk ride back to your accommodations if they're outside of that core city center. And just be careful in general, because the dogs, like, they're super calm and quiet in the daytime, and then come nightfall, they're just like so hostile. Like, yeah, I've seen some pretty scary situations, people getting trapped and even been chased myself, and seen people having to throw rocks at the door. So that's that, Kampot. I'll see you in the next town.